Good morning, fourth graders. Okay, so for this week, today is Tuesday, April 7th. Our Tuesday videos are always a little bit longer because I'm going to go over our grammar stuff, but I'm also going to go over your reading, your writing, your history for the whole week, okay? So this video will be a little bit longer. We are going to start with our grammar, okay? So we have actually finished up our chapter on adjectives. So we're gonna review just a little bit today on the video, and then I want you to look over some things in your book. Then I'm gonna get with your parents on contacting you, whether it's a phone call, FaceTime, some other method of communication, so that we can get our chapter 7 test taken care of, okay? All right, so first we need to know, what is an adjective? What does it do? An adjective modifies or describes a noun or a pronoun, okay? Adjectives answer a few different questions. They tell us which, whose, how many, and what kind of. There are also 3 little words that we call articles. And these 3 articles are also they are also adjectives, okay? So those 3 articles are a, an, and the. So anytime you see the words a, an, or the, you know those are articles, but you're going to diagram them as adjectives because they fit in that part of speech. So we talked all about adjectives. We talked about the difference between a singular noun and a plural noun, and singular possessive nouns and singular plural possessive nouns, and how our apostrophe changes things. So if you look on page 306, you will see your chapter 7 review. Okay, and on part B, under the oral drill, it gives us a little chart, and it gives us a few words, and it wants us to tell what the singular possessive, the plural, and the plural possessive nouns are. So the first word we have is horse. If I have the word horse, it means there is only one, okay? So plural, Seeley's behind the camera, he's helping me here. Plural form of horse would be what? Horses. And we spell horses, H-O-R-S-E-S. No apostrophe, because it's just a plural noun. We're talking about more than one horse, okay? Now, if I was talking about one horse, and I said, did you get the horse's food, talking about just one horse, at that point, I would have to use an apostrophe. So my apostrophe shows ownership. You hear my dogs and my cat? They're fighting. So my apostrophe shows ownership or possession. So if I have one horse and I'm talking about that horse's food, then I would say, use the word H-O-R-S-E apostrophe S. Okay. Now, if I have plural possessive, that means I'm talking about more than one horse. So I'm talking about my 2 horses, and I'm talking about their food. At that point, my apostrophe, because it's a plural possessive noun, and the plural form ends with an S, horses, H-O-R-S-E-S, my apostrophe is going to have to go at the end of my word, so after the S. We talked about this earlier, I think it was last week, but
So there's not an S at the end of the word.
There's what?
There's not an S at the end of the word. Horses are food?
Horses, food? The horses, food?
Yeah, there's not an S anywhere at the end.
At the end of horses.
I know, but... Oh, I get it now.
So the plural form of horse is horses, and the S goes, there's an S at the end of the plural word, so my apostrophe goes at the end. Does that make sense?
I thought you meant like at the very end, like after horse's food.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Celie and I are going to go over this some more. You go over it some more with your parents. And just make sure that you can kind of fill in the chart, know the difference between singular possessive, plural possessive, when I put an apostrophe, when I don't. Okay? All right. We also talked about the forms of comparison. Those were pretty easy. Once again, on page 306, you have part C. It gives us the word happy. So we have happy, happier, happiest. Good. We have wise. What would it be, Celie? Wise. Wiser and wisest. Good. Sometimes we have irregular words like the word good. Okay, gooder is not a word. So in that case, my adjective completely changes. So I have good, better, best. Okay, so look over that. And then we want to make sure that you are able to diagram some basic sentences with our adjectives. So on page 307, written practice part A, they've given you 5 sentences. I have written out 2 of them on my board. I'm going to hold it up and let you see it, and we're going to go through it together. Okay? All right. So number 1 says, the selfish little girl was pouting. So the first thing we have to do when we diagram is we have to come up with our sentence skeleton, and that means our subject and our verb. So the subject tells us who are we talking about? Girl. And then our verb, in this case, is a verb phrase. We have a helping verb and a main verb. So girl was pouting. So if you can see that, there's my subject, there's my verb. So that's my verb, my sentence skeleton. Now I've got to look for adjectives. Adjectives that describe my noun, which in this case is girl. The selfish little girl was pouting. Well, we know that the is an adjective because it's one of the articles. Selfish tells us what kind of girl she was. And little also tells us what kind or which one. So which girl? She was the little girl. So we diagram our adjectives on slanted lines under the nouns that they modify. Okay. Now, on number 2, sometimes we have sentences with direct objects or predicate nominatives. So we've got to remember to always look for those parts of speech, and we have talked about those earlier in the year. So in this sentence it says, my brother rode the large brown horse. First, find your sentence skeleton. Subject tells me who or what. It was the brother. What did the brother do? He rode. Whom or what did he ride? That is my direct object. Well, the horse. So here's my sentence skeleton. Brother rode horse. Okay? Now I've got to go back and look for my adjectives. Because I have a direct object or a predicate nominative, those are also nouns and pronouns. So I can have adjectives that describe those words. Which brother or whose brother? Well, it was my. So I'm going to diagram my under brother because that's the noun that it describes. My brother rode the large brown horse. Okay, we know that the is an article, therefore it is an adjective. Which horse? It was the large horse. what kind of, what color? It was the brown one, okay? So I diagram the large brown under horse because that is the noun that it describes, okay? So I want you to look at 3, 4, and 5 and try to diagram those sentences on your own for practice. I will get with your parents today to go over how we're going to do our assessment or our test for this chapter so that we can move to the next chapter, which is all about adverbs, okay? All right, so that is grammar. Now, we are going to talk about your reading for the week. So, let me get my book. Last week, you were supposed to read the first part of the Jungle Book. Okay, so this week, you are going to read the second part, which is called Cause Hunting. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but so you're going to read the second part of the book. Remember, this isn't really divided into chapters. It's divided into 4 sections. So Cause Hunting, you're going to read that and then answer the corresponding pages in your packet that I sent home. So just be keeping up with that. It's not something you have to turn in until you are completely finished with the book, okay? All right. Now, for science this week, Miss Jill wanted y'all to write a paper. So this paper is going to count for 2 grades, okay? So it's pretty important. It's going to count for a science grade for Miss Jill, and it's going to count for a writing grade for me, okay? All right, so I'm going to kind of go over it, then I'm going to show you a board that kind of tells what your requirements are, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to choose a planet to research. Any planet, Mars, Earth, Venus, Jupiter, whichever one you want to research. Choose a planet to research, and then you are going to write a 3-paragraph paper over your research. Remember, when we write paragraphs, we have a topic sentence, and then we have 3 to 4 supporting details. So we want to make sure each paragraph is about one topic and our details support that topic. So if my first paragraph was going to be about, let's say, where this planet is located in the solar system, then all my details are going to go along with that. So I could have details like, how far is it from Earth? What is the distance from my planet to the sun? What are the planets near mine? All of that information goes along with my topic, which is, where is this planet located? Okay, so you're going to have 3 paragraphs over your research. I'm going to go ahead and show you the board. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm also going to send a screenshot to your parents. So here we go. You're going to choose a planet to research. You are going to write a 3-paragraph paper over your research. Somewhere in that paper, I want you to include a Bible verse. There are all kinds of really neat Bible verses over the stars, the sky, space. Find one of those Bible verses and include it in one of your paragraphs. If you are having trouble finding one, ask your parents, have them ask me. Remember, you are always welcome to set up a time to call or FaceTime me so we can get through our work. Now, at the bottom of our board, I put just some ideas of things to look for. So things that you can look for when you are doing your research. The temperature on your planet. Okay, that would be interesting to know. distance from the sun, number of moons, distance from Earth. We said all that. Interesting facts. That's a pretty broad subject, but you should be able to find some pretty interesting facts about whichever planet you choose. And then also, who discovered it? When did they discover it? How did this planet get its name? You do not have to use these topics, but those are just some that you can choose from. Okay. Whoop. All right, and our last little bit is going to be history. Okay, Texas history for the week. So this week, you have some daily warm-up questions. Some of these questions are things that we have talked about in class over the past school year. Some of these are things that are just common knowledge. Some of these may be questions that you are going to need to research the answer for. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Each day has 2 questions. We've already missed Monday, but I want you to answer those questions. So add it on to Tuesdays. You could answer all of these questions in one day. I don't care how you do it. Just make sure that you have the questions answered by next Monday/Tuesday morning, okay? On Thursday, it says to draw the flag of Texas below and label what each color means. I would love for you to actually, instead of drawing it down here, turn the paper over that you're writing your answers on, or get you a different piece of paper and draw the Texas flag bigger, label what each color means, and then send it in to me when you do your questions, or just take a picture of you holding the Texas flag that you have drawn, okay? All right, so that is history for this week. Okay, guys, there's your classmate, Seeley. Say hi, Seeley. He's super excited because he's fixing to have to do his schoolwork. Okay, so real quick, that's your video for today. You have your grammar assignment, which is just to review chapter 7, which is all about adjectives. I'm going to send the page numbers, and I'll send a text to your parents with all this information. Your history you have for the whole week. So I'll remind you every day on the video, but you already have your history assignment, so you start working on that. Same thing with your science and your writing. You have your science and your writing assignment. I will remind you every day, but you start working on that. Start doing your research first, getting your information together, and then from there, you can work on outlining, writing your rough draft, your final draft, okay? So that's history, that's science, and then your reading. Guys, I will remind you of this every day, but you already have your assignment. Don't wait until this weekend to get this work done. Go ahead and work on it every day. Tomorrow you'll get a new video for grammar and just a reminder of these other things, but we've gone over all of it in today's video. So if you need to refer back, then you always know, come to your Tuesday video, okay? I miss y'all. I hope you are all doing well. And I hope to see you soon. Remember, if you need anything, text me. Have your parents set up a time to FaceTime. I would love to hear from y'all, okay? Have a great day.